Hey guys, it's Kelly. Today I'm going to talk about my autism a little bit and just kind of getting a little like deep and personal with it a bit, in the sense like my feelings about it and stuff. But before we get started, I just want to say, autism is not a bad thing. You know, if you have it, you should not be ashamed of having it. Yes, it can be difficult and challenging at times, but it's not, a bad thing. You know what I mean? So don't think of it as a bad thing. Anything, you know what I mean? Because being different is not a bad thing. It's really not. You know what I mean? Autism's not a bad thing. It just, it has struggles. And the thing too, people don't say is autism is different for everyone. You know what I mean? It's not one size fits all. That's why it's a spectrum. Like, it's like you have people like me who are high functioning in a sense, and then you have the low function, people with autism who can't, take care of themselves. Some people, low function autistics, they can't speak, just say a few words. So it's a spectrum because it affects everyone different, especially when it comes to boys and girls. And the thing is too, honestly, you might look at me and not be able to tell I have autism until you talk to me a little bit. So you can't base it on looks either. Autism doesn't have a look, you know what I mean? You don't look autistic. You know what I mean? It's in your brain. It's a neurological thing. It's not affects you physically. But anyways, in autism for me, it's hard to deal with at times because of how it affects me. And that's what I want to kind of talk about with you guys today. Maybe some of you guys could relate to me. First and foremost, my appearance. Now, I'm not saying my appearance obviously has anything to do with autism, because like I just said, autism doesn't have a look to it. But my parents, I don't look like, a typical 27-year-old, right? I look younger than, most people, right? My age, pretty much everyone my age. I look like a teenager, and again, I know it's not an autism thing, but there's just something I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit. And it does bother me, because it's I don't look like the women my age, and it sucks, especially I'm on Instagram a lot, and I watch a lot of Instagram reels, and I post or I comment on them. Anyway, a lot of times, not a lot I should say, but enough times, and a lot of people refer to me as a kid or little girl, little and stuff like that, and it's annoying. You know what I mean? Some people look young for their age, some people look old, and obviously there are plenty of people who look younger than what they actually are, and they're obviously not autistic. So I'm not saying autistic affects your features. I'm not saying I look younger because I have autism. Is it possible? Maybe. I don't know a whole lot about autism. I'm not an expert on it. I know kind of the basics of it. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, my parents, and the fact that I feel I don't really look super feminine. I do dress feminine, and wear makeup and stuff, but I do that because I enjoy that stuff, not because I feel I have to look feminine. But another thing too, I don't know if I ever really discussed it, but I have PCOS. If you guys don't know, that's polycystic ovary syndrome. Basically, I was explained this by my gynecologist. It's when the eggs outside your ovary, the eggs in your ovary. If you guys know female anatomy, let me back it up a bit. If you guys know anything about female anatomy, which I'm sure you all do, and you should at least, basically, women have ovaries, and now ovaries is where our eggs, are. And with me, because I have PCOS, the eggs grow on the outside of the ovaries, just like with endometriosis, which is when the tissue of the uterus grows outside the uterus, and it causes really painful periods and stuff. For me, my PCOS doesn't affect me too bad. I do get occasional pains, in my lower abdomen, around that area, so I'm assuming it has to do with my PCOS. But my periods, might be a little bit TMI, but they're not really too bad. The cramps and stuff are not too bad. They could be at times, but for the most part, they're not too terrible. But I will say too, again, this might be TMI, but this could be educational for people too. I do have irregular periods. I don't always get them on time. It's usually within a few days of when I'm supposed to I get it. So it's not terribly irregular. It used to be worse, but anyways, yeah, so I have PCOS, and also with that too, with PCOS, you have more testosterone in your body. So I feel for my voice might sound a little bit more deeper than most women's, and I don't have my face, I don't have a prominent jawline because of that, and I am hairy. when I was a kid, my arms used to be super hairy, but I do shave them now. And I will say, ever since I started shaving, I feel like the hair doesn't grow back as much like it used to, you know? So that's good. I mean, I just shaved it the other day, but like before that, it probably was a few months since I last shaved my arms. My legs too, as a kid, used to be super, super hairy. Like, and it was never something that necessarily bothered me. I mean, I always thought it was a little bit weird, like I had such hairy arms, but it didn't really like click in my head till I was older and stuff. So I mean, you know, testosterone, you know. So I feel like that kind of affects me too, and I don't know if maybe that plays a part in my appearance as well. I mean, obviously, but you know, like why I look younger as well, but you know, so it does kind of bother me. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had some thoughts before about like, what if I go on estrogen? You know, like, because, you know, you can get like the estrogen shots, just like people can get testosterone shots, like, for example, like trans people do. Like, I watched this YouTube couple, Jules and Saad is trans, you know, female to male, and he gets testosterone. But then I was thinking, like, do you have to do that forever for the rest of your life? Like, will Saad have to do testosterone shots for the rest of his life now? Or no? Like, I don't know how that works. And like, I know the shots you have to do in the side and stuff, it's not something I'm interested in. You know, like, I can never do it on my own. I would never, number one, have to have someone do that for me. But it's like, do I really want to do all that? Is it worth it? I mean, would that even do anything for me if I were to anyways? Especially at this point, I don't know. So, I mean, that is kind of an insecurity for me. Because I feel like people don't take me seriously because I do look younger. You know what I mean? So, like, that does bother me a lot, but another big thing that bothers me that I feel like has to do with my autism is my voice. You guys know that I kind of talk a little bit weird, and like I do have trouble saying certain words. Like when it comes to my S or my R's and my W's, they sound the same. Like if I said I'm reading a book, right? Reading. Or if I said I'm going to smoke some weed, like it sounds the same. Like for some reason, I can't like differentiate between the R's and the W's. Same with what was the other words? There's like other words too. Or like shorts. Like YouTube shorts, right? Look, I'm wearing a t-shirt. Like, you know, short, I'm wearing a t-shirt, I'm watching YouTube shorts. Like, to me, those sound pretty similar too. It's hard to differentiate. And that makes me super insecure, like, that people can't always understand me. And, like, when I was in elementary, I did used to do speech. That wasn't last long. I feel like I didn't do much, but you know what I mean? And I know, like, autism can obviously affect your speech because some people with autism on the lower spectrum, they can't speak at all, or only, like, say a few words. So, but also, too, another thing, I do have, like, a super long tongue. And I have, like, big tonsils, so I don't know if that could affect it. But I would say no, because, you know, that doesn't really have anything to do with your voice box, you know what I mean? So, my voice is a big insecurity of mine. You know, that's, like, that and my parents, like, those are two big things why I'm scared to, like, put myself out there, because I feel like I won't be taken seriously. You know what I mean? And it just sucks, because, you know, like, I may not have much life experience, and I may look young, but I'm, like, if you give me a chance, I'm actually really wise and smart than people realize, you know what I mean? But it's especially my voice, you know what I mean? Like, I try my best to talk clear, but it's just hard when I have trouble saying, like, certain letters, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, those are, like, my two biggest things that bother me with my autism. And, like, I don't know that I can say those are fully from my autism. I think it probably does play a part, but those are the insecurity of mine that bother me. You know what I mean? Like, and also, to another thing, like, mentally. Like, mentally, I do not feel like a 27-year-old. Mentally, I feel, and I feel like maybe some of you guys can see it through my videos, like, I feel like I'm a teenager, mentally, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but I just, like, for some reason, I just don't think, like, I'm in the mental stages of a 27-year-old, in my opinion, like, maturity-wise. Like, I'm not saying I'm immature, but, like, you know what I mean? I still love, you know, playing, like, games and going to arcade and, like, you know what I mean? Like, doing stuff that a typical 27-year-old probably wouldn't be super into anymore. You know, and again, I know, like, it's not necessarily my fault, like, the autism thing. I feel like it's another reason people don't take me seriously, because I don't want to, I guess, because I don't act my age, if that makes sense. I'm not saying I act immature like a little kid, but, like, you know, I also don't act like a typical 27-year-old. Let's be real here. You know what I mean? Like, let's be raw and honest. I don't. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but, you know, I don't know, it's just something that kind of bothers me. And, like, I also don't feel like I, need to change myself either to please people. I don't want to change myself to please people, but I don't know. I just don't want people to think less of me or anything like that because of, like, these things about me. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, like, I feel like I could be super mature a lot of times, like, and stuff, and, like, act like an adult. I mean, what's wrong with me, guys? Like, I do act like an adult, like, majority of the time, but I mean, I don't know. It's just difficult to explain, I guess, but I don't know, like, to my autism, I do, like, I am a sensory seeker. Like, I tickle my hand like this and, like to rub my arms and stuff, even my feet occasionally. And I love when other people, like, rub my arm and back and stuff. Like, that's a big sensory thing for me. And when it comes to noise, I know, you see a lot of autistic people with headphones because of loud noises. But for me, that's not really a thing. Like, I mean, like, I like loud music. Like, I listen to loud music in my headphones every day. But every day. But, like, certain sounds do bother me. Like, the sound of our fire alarm, that kind of bothers me. And I do kind of cover my ears sometimes. Not like that goes off all the time, but when it has. So, like, certain, like, loud sounds do bother me. Like I said, like, that loud beeping and stuff. I'm not, like, the hugest fan of it. But for the most part, loud sounds don't get to me. But, and I wouldn't say I really have any food sensitivities. Like, I absolutely have foods I don't like. And, like, well, I guess one of my food sensitivities, like, I cannot eat any, like, raw meat. Like, when it comes to steak, it has to be well done. Because I just don't like the texture of the raw meat when I'm chewing it. And same with fat. Like, I can't eat, like, when I have steak, I have to cut off the fat, too. Because the texture of the fat, I hate it. I hate anything like that texture of fat where it's, like, I don't know how to explain the texture. Or, like, anything slimy, too. Like, that's one of the reasons I hate mushrooms as well. Because mushrooms, the taste and, like, the texture of it, oh. I could get very rid of a texture. Same with, like, certain textures, like, touching. Like, there's, like, my comforter. I don't know what material my comforter is, but, like, I hate rubbing against it, my hand. Because it just makes me get the chills, and I hate that feeling. Like, certain texture, like, I've always been that way since I was a kid, too. And I don't know what texture this blanket would be or the material, but it just bothers me. And I also have this loofah in the shower. It's, like, green. But the handle's like that rare material I hate to touching because it gives me chills. Even thinking about I'm getting chills with, like, when my hand's against it. And, like, I can't touch it because I just hate it. So, I do have some, like, sensory issues when it comes to my autism. But those are just kind of my insecurities. I mean, my sensitivities are my insecurities to me. I just, like I said, autism is nothing to be ashamed of. But it does come with struggles. And I'm just kind of scared. That's why I'm kind of scared to put myself out there. You know what I mean? Because I'm scared of how people are going to treat me and, like, react to me. Because I'm not, like, your typical, 27-year-old. I am different. And while it's not a bad thing, it also can kind of be scary at times because you never know how people are going to react to it. Like, I'm not saying people are going to bully me or, like, be mean to me or anything like that. But I do know. I don't know. I do know, like, probably gonna be hard for me to when it comes to dating. It makes me nervous because, like, you know what I mean, like, well, guys kind of like someone like me with autism. Like, autistic people I know are in relationships and even have kids, some of them. So I'm not saying would never be able to find someone, but will I be able to find someone who can accept me for who I am and not try and change me or get annoyed with me? Because, another thing, too, I also have ADHD, and, like, I also have the worst memory. That's another insecurity of me. Oh, two other things, too, I want to talk about insecurities. Like, my dad, a lot of times, he would tell me, like, can you get this, this, and this out of, like, 3 things? And I always end up forgetting at least one of them. You know what I mean? Or, like, what was it, yesterday? My mom told me to go ask my sister something. And I was going to walk up the stairs. I had my book in my hand because I was reading, but then I got, like, halfway up the stairs, and I yelled to her, wait, what do you need me to ask her again? I mean, that was probably because I was reading a book. But, like, it's just a simple thing is, like, I have the worst memory, because, and I know it's an ADHD thing because I looked it up. It could also be an autism thing. But that just kind of bothers me because I feel like, because I know, like, my dad, he gets annoyed with me with that. And I get it because it could be annoying. And that's, like, another thing that worries me. Like, that's, a lot of people not going to be able to deal with that because it could be annoying, like, always forgetting things, especially they just tell me something and I forget it. But see, that's the thing, you can't tell me multiple things at once, do like multiple things at once, you know what I mean? You have to tell me like one at a time, or write it down for me at least, you know what I mean? Which I know that can be annoying for people. It's another thing that worries me. And, yeah. What was the other thing? Something else too I want to mention now that, see, just poof right on my head. See what I mean? Like, my memory skills, like, and it's weird because, like, I can remember song lyrics, you know, like from a song that I haven't heard in like 10 years, and I can hear it and I can like still remember all the words. So that's why my memory is weird. Like, I can remember lyrics for songs that I don't even listen to that much, but I can still know them all. But yet, you know what I mean? You can tell me like to get you 3 different things and I'll forget 2 of them in the span of like 2 minutes. I don't know. Oh, and I do remember the other thing now. It's how I learn. Like, I always struggled with, like, understanding things, like, when, like, especially in school with math, like, it would always take me forever to, like, understand a concept for, like, math, you know what I mean? And, like, some things I just could never understand, like, trigonometry was something in math I could never understand, like, for some reason my brain couldn't grasp it. And that's another big issue for me, like, my brain, like, I have a hard time grasping certain concepts, like, you're trying to explain to me how to do something, and, like, I'm a slow learner. You know what I mean? Because for some reason, it just takes my brain, like, a while to understand stuff. Which, again, that's something that's insecure for me about. It's kind of annoying for me. Because, you know, I want to be able to, like, do something. Like, someone can tell me to do something, I can do it. But for some reason, my brain doesn't work like that. Like, you can tell me something to do it, and it will actually take me a while to be able to do it and to be able to, like, understand it, if that makes sense. That's another, like, big insecurity of mine. You know, that and, like, my memory, too, as well. Because I just don't want to, you know, be an inconvenience to people or, like, annoy people, you know what I mean? I don't want, basically, I just don't like making people's lives harder. You know what I mean? So, like, that's another thing why I'm scared to put myself out there and date. Because I would love a boyfriend one day. But, like, all these things about me, I just don't know if someone would be able to deal with it. You know what I mean? So, like, that's kind of what scares me. And, like, I have some other issues too when it comes to that stuff. Like, I'm not going to get into it because it's kind of personal, but this, and plus this is just about my autism anyways, but it's just these little things about autism. I'm sure, you know, any of you out there watching autism, maybe you guys could relate to some of these things too. Maybe you also have some of these things too about you, like I have. So, you know what I mean? Just something that I have to live with and figure out a way to deal with. So, and I mean, I am in therapy for it. It does help, but I think that's a big reason why I've always been scared to put myself out there. Like, yeah, too, I've always been super shy and, like, introverted, but also these other things about me, too, kind of just also make me scared to put myself out there. And, like, I don't know. I know at some point I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it, but, you know, I have to do it on my own terms and my own pace. But I know I will be able to do it one day, but I don't know. I just wanted to make this video to discuss these things with you, because I know these things not always, like, easy to discuss, especially, like, some people, autism, you know, they try to, like, kind of hide this stuff and mask. It's called masking. And I don't think we should have to mask, you know, like, hide who we are, you know, because we have autism. It's not our fault that we have autism. It's not our fault, like, why we are the way we are. And we should embrace it. And if people can't accept us for that, then that's their problem, you know. Obviously, yes, you can try and help yourself, like, with my whole memory thing. Yeah, obviously I can do things to kind of help with that so I don't forget as much, like writing it down, for example, writing stuff down. So they're all like little things you can do, but at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do to like fully fix it. You know, it's always going to be that you can just do stuff to kind of aid it and kind of help it a little bit so it's not as bad, but you can never fully get rid of it. And, you know, it sucks, but you just have to learn to live with it. And, you know, I think I do pretty good learning to live with it, but it's still big issue, like, insecurity for me that I still have to work on myself. But I don't know, maybe this video has helped you guys out a little bit. I just wanted to kind of vent to you guys, and maybe you guys could relate, and I can help some people out there going through similar issues as me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if there's anything else you want me to talk about to do with autism, let me know in the comments. I would be glad to make more videos, because I think, you know, autism awareness is important, and, like, to know it's not a bad thing, it's also important. But, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm definitely going to be making more content, you know. I already have some content ideas. I definitely want to get back into making content. Like, it's obviously not going to be an everyday thing, but I want to try and get at least a couple videos out a week. Maybe try to do 3 or 4 videos a week-ish. but nothing's guaranteed. But I love you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please follow me on my socials. Follow everyone in my description, guys. Please subscribe to me. Please like and please comment. I just want to say too, if like you guys are confused by anything I've said, I'm sorry. I'm not like the best at explaining things, so if I didn't explain things clearly enough, I'm sorry. But hopefully you guys can still like understand what I was trying to say. But anyways, I love you animals so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.